So obviously when my mum messages me, I answer. I'm like coughing for no reason. I don't know why I'm coughing. So the dry shampoo already worked. Like, it's crazy how different the hair looks from when it was just like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like all flat and greasy, and now it's like, especially in the light, it just looks better. And I never, like, I don't dye my hair, so it's like, I don't know why it looks good with the dry shampoo, because the woman who designed it is obviously like a fur woman lady. Sorry, I'm gonna use this jug and like drink some water. See, in the light, it's really good. The dry shampoo is like so fast as well. Like, you know how like when it's winter and you can't be bothered like washing your hair. You can't wash your hair anyway because it's shiny, isn't it? But like for real. Cannot wait for a party tonight. Just for the dance vibe. Even if you stay for like 20 minutes at a party, I'm probably gonna stay all night, but you know what I'm saying. Even if you stay, if your intention is to go for 20 minutes, it's a good intention. Because some shy people are like, I need to go for 20 minutes, and then they actually end up staying all night. Or they just stay for 20 minutes and they leave. They do like a Irish goodbye and they just bolt. I've done that before where I just like bolt. You don't want to say goodbye, especially if it's like a filmmaker. You don't want to like, I don't know, once you're at their party, you want to be like, hello, say hello, and then like don't say goodbye to anyone. Say hi to everyone. Don't say goodbye to anyone. I don't know why I love this look, because I feel like a horse or something. Like, I know horses are like from the east coast of America, where they're like, oh, pack the can, haven't yet. I love that Boston accent. I do love the Boston accent. But anyway, side note, yeah, I was like singing so many praises. I did go to the South, talking about cowboys and cowgirls, cowwomen. I went to the South for a substantial amount of time with Elijah Wood's vibe when I was there at his house, because we were making, before we made Bitch, we were really like making Bitch before we made it. And I was there in Austin for so long. I was supposed to stay for like a day, because I was like, I can't remember why I was there. I was supposed to stay for like one day, but then I stayed for like the whole festival. I was supposed to like meet with them or something for like one day. Yeah, I stayed for the whole festival, and I'm thinking about doing a little New Money pink. Like, why not do that? Try and add some sparkle. God, that looks good. Can't believe I've not done this before. Oh. It just like makes it better. Oh my God. This is like New Money eyeshadow. I'm putting on my already pink lipstick. Because if I put a gloss over this, that would be crazy. And the lips now, sometimes you want something dynamic, not just like one pink. Sometimes you want many pinks. This is like crazy nice. I'll show you in the light. Oh, that looks so good. It looks amazing. Oh, it's perfect for like a hoedown or whatever. Especially with some lip gloss. Oh my God. Like, Glasgow is not ready for us tonight. The amount of like stuff I'm cleaning off with baby wipes, but can use that forever. That was me in Texas like working on Bitch before we made it, and then we got the money for Bitch and it went to Sundance so immediately. It got into Sundance like 15 minutes after we sent it to the Sundance programmers. It was like right after I finished shooting it, and I was doing Glow as well, Glow season 2 or whatever. Maybe it was Glow season 1 actually. That was Glow season 1. Yeah. And then I got 2 jobs. I was like, okay, I'll do 2 jobs. And then did Sundance in that January for Bitch, and Elijah Wood and Josh Waller and Daniel Noah. Like everyone from Spectre Vision and Mar Vista, we were all so chuffed. And then because we made that, then I was like in love with Texas. And because I had already done Restive, which I loved doing Restive, playing Jeva. I loved with my breaker. Michael Mosley is so good in that film. And I get to kill him with an antler. So if you're wondering which film Michael Mosley dies in, he dies in my one because I killed him. It's very Greek. Restive is very Greek. And then also Chris was playing my husband. I don't know how to describe like that performance because he was so scary. He played like a scary, abusive husband, but that's not who he is in real life. Obviously, he's like a nice guy. In real life, he's very normal. But we had a great working relationship, Chris Denham and I, and it was funny because getting the old group of actors back together. Like Ivan, and they had all worked together in New York, and I was like coming in to their dynamic, and I was like, hi guys, like you don't know me, but I'm gonna like act the shit out of this for you. And I did a southern accent the whole time. I talked to them in a southern accent when we weren't filming. So I think it was weird for Michael Mosley because I've been mates with him ever since then, and I'm mates with Chris as well and Ivan, but I'm like the way that they got to know me was I was like a spy basically, like doing a fucking really perfect Texas accent, and everyone thought I was from Houston or whatever. And the crew thought I was from Houston, and I was like, sorry, I'm Scottish. Like at the premiere, I was like, sorry, I'm Scottish. It was at like the London Film Festival. I was like, I'm Scottish. Sorry. That's the one thing is like it's weird for the other cast members for you to do that deep of a thing with the accent. Like it's a little bit too much. Like I was like, it's too much. Like it's just weird. Like it's not authentic. And I could have been like, yo. Well, I think I said like, I'm actually Scottish. But like, you know, they don't hear my Scottish accent the whole time I'm doing it. And then suddenly I have a Scottish accent the rest of the time. I just dropped a baby white on my white rug. So I have to get it because I don't want my white rug to get the colour of it. Bloody one of these colours of my whatever the hell I'm doing just now. Eyeshadow. So the other thing that happened with the southern cowboy thing was I got to not just like be in Austin with Elijah Wood, but like I got to love that Texas feeling, and Austin is such a good town, so I got to fall in love with Austin so many times, because Crawford is just like 4 hours or a few hours, maybe 2 hours north of, like if you're walking I guess, or if you're driving it's like 2 hours north of Austin. And then the southern thing I loved, like the first time I was in the South, I'm not gonna lie, the first time I ever went to the South, I went to Tennessee because I was visiting a film set. And this will make me cry, but like it was like when I was very young, and I went to a town called Shebville. That was like the first time I went to the South. There's a film that's called or something of our own, And Autumn Riser's in it, like she's so good in it. And you know, the person who directed it and wrote it had lived and grew up in Shebville, so it was very, and the way you spell it is Shelbyville, so you can find it on a map. It's very close to like wherever all these other spots, but it's like a walking horse town, so the horses are taught to do this like with their hooves, so you see them walking around doing that. And in the film you can see just how beautiful it is. It's like a coming of age film, but also you can see how beautiful the South is, because there's this Alison Janney is in it as well. Like she gives like such a good performance, and so is Cheryl Hines. Oh my god, she's so good in it. But you're like, it's like just heartbreaking about America and like small town America, and how what it is to grow up and there's like a dog on top of a car that drives around. And I remember like the mayor of that town was showing me around the town when I got there, because literally there's like nobody there. And I remember the diner, and I just remember Cameron being like, this is where I grew up, and I wrote a film about where I grew up. And I remember like the power of that, you know, like it made me want to do more things that honor places. Like Love Letters to Places are kind of like the best films in a lot of ways, because the people who are from there are like, yo, we need to be we need to make a poem out of us. And it felt like that, being in the South for the first time in the summer and going, oh, I get like is instantly what a Southern summer is like, and all of that shit when you're growing up. Like in Scotland, it's so cold. So anytime you watch like a film from the South, like anything, like, you know, anything, like a Paul Newman film and set in the South where you're just like, oh my god, they're having like mint juleps, that feeling, you feel the like crickets and stuff, and you just, well, you hear the crickets and you feel like this level of Southern charm, and like the drenched nature of everybody's clothes is like soaking wet because they're all like sweating through everything. And you understand why Tennessee Williams wrote all the shit that he wrote, and why he had to leave his place, his home. And then he was like the greatest American playwright. And you go, holy shit. Like, this is beautiful. Like, the South is beautiful. And then I went fucking everywhere. Like, I went to North Carolina. Like, I went to Charlotte. I went to all these places where I was like, I love, like, where Michael Mann shot Last of the Mohicans. I was all over there because I was like, oh shit. Like, I love Asheville. And there was an Asheville Film Festival that like I went to like 75 times. Good dig going to Asheville Film Festival, so I went there so many times. But I don't think it's like it's like you can't explain how beautiful that place is unless you're like actually there, because the feeling of staying in the hotel and staying in the room that Daniel Day-Lewis stayed in when he was staying Last of the Mohicans, and staying in that hotel, it's so lush, but it's like culturally lush, where you're like, this is like Americana, like it's the history of America, where you go, like, that's the best of America. It gives you the chills. Like, it's the heebie-jeebies where everyone's like, hi, ma'am. You're welcome, ma'am. Here you go, ma'am. And I'm like, call me ma'am forever, because I fucking deserve it. They call you ma'am when you're like 20, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be an old lady for them to call you ma'am. And I'm like, I like polite, quality people. Like, they're so sweet, and they're very like genuine. The one thing I loved about being in Crawford, I was like talking to the director, because he's such a genius. He wrote Restive. Like, this director had been a football player, no joke, like a football star. He was a football star from his like town in Crawford, and he wrote a script basically out of nowhere and wrote this character Jeva. And it's a very feminist film. And he and his wife Lindy had done a lot of work together, because they had he had like coached this basketball team, like a women's basketball team, and I was like, oh, I want to work with a director who's like coached a women's basketball team, who used to be like a footballer, but like that's cool. And then this feeling that I had again of like respecting the land, because he said to me, look, if you're gonna come and work here, like don't tell like jokes about about why the South sucks or something, or don't like talk shit about the South, because like you are actually here. So it was like jokes that are political or whatever aren't necessarily gonna read to this local town, you know what I mean? Like, and also the local town was giving us so much free shit. The director was a little bit like, I was like, yeah, I'll respect the people there. I'm not gonna like start bad mouthing the area, you know, or whatever. And I did respect them. So then I think there was this like mutual appreciation party, because we got to film something so unique and restive. It's very, very feminist. It's like the most feminist film I've ever been a part of, and it was written by a man. It was so fun. I got to stay in like Lindy's family's home, and just like the polite nature of that, like the way that we could have fun. We could go, it was like all these things you could go to. It wasn't even just like crawfish boils, it was like next level food. Like the food was so good. Elk was like served basically every day, and I was like, just give me deer, elk, and everything. Like I want to eat it all. And I loved this feeling of not having to go to a supermarket and get like chicken wrapped in plastic that you do when you're on the coast of like California or New York. That's all you can do, because you can't like go hunt your animals in New York or California. Maybe in California, in parts of California you can, but like in LA you're not like shooting your deer or something. So this idea in Crawford that I loved was they obviously hunt, and then they have that animal meat frozen all year round, so they don't have to go to the shop and buy meat. So like not only is it cheaper, but it's more organic. Like it's the most organic thing you can do to make your own food like that, and to not cause this waste in the world of like the industrial nature of what like it means to get meat from something like that, especially in the States. It's not like an organic chicken that you're getting in the States most of the time. So like if you want or to buy organic in the States, you have to pay more. But then also they don't do that in Crawford, because they've just, it's organic because it's like the elk from up the road that they killed like a couple years ago or a year ago, and they froze it, you know what I mean? And you're like, that's cool. And it tastes better than anything you will ever try. Like that's the thing, I love meat. I love meat. So I was a happy chappy. And finishing that film, it was really a miracle for me to be in Crawford playing Jeva, because I remember like it was the first thing I kind of had done that wasn't my, I think it was one of my first jobs after I did Good Dick. Because I think I had done, I don't know what the hell timeline of anything. I don't remember what time is anyway, but I think this was 2011, because it's the same year that I went to do Ned's, because Peter Mullen phoned me. Peter Mullen phoned me when I was in Texas playing Jeva. And I like answered my phone in Texas, and I was like, hi. Or I had just finished it, because I was in my flat at home. So I think I had just finished Jeva. I don't know. He asked me to do it when I was in my pajamas in my flat in LA, but maybe I was playing Jeva when he told me we're shooting it. Yeah, I think that's what it was, because I had just done that, so I was like ready to, I was like primed to do something else, and I had just had black hair. Like I literally dyed my hair black to play Jeva, which is really weird. Like I never had dark hair, but in a film. So then I also was like a redhead in Ned's, so I just had all these parts where I didn't have my own hair color for ages. Then the other reason I love the South was just traveling through, like, oh my God, I haven't even talked about Alabama, but I talked a lot about being in Alabama with Alex Pettifer for Collection. But this is why, like, I was so set up to love the South already. Like, everything about the South I loved. So when they were like, let's go to Birmingham, Alabama, I was like, yeah, let's do it. and you make it magical. We made Birmingham so magical. God, I'm never not gonna put eyeshadow on my lips because that really worked. God, I love my dry shampoo. It's like working. Look how cool that's gonna look. Like the dry shampoo gives you so much volume that you didn't have. So the other thing I was going to talk about was the feeling of like people giving you stuff for free at Sundance, and these ideas of like a gratis. Posh Peanuts sending me a text because they're like, why aren't you buying our shit? I got so much of Posh Peanuts stuff that I'm like best friends with them now. I think they're like, what the hell, Mariana? No, I got like so much of their Gold Lust. I don't think I need anything else from them. Like, I love their gold foil. Did I say Gold Lust? Why did I say Gold Lust? Because it's like, it was just Valentine's Day. Lust. I think Shakespeare created the word lust. He came up with a lot of words, and we're not gonna lie, lust was one of them. Oh my god, I love this dry shampoo. So the thing that you'll notice as well is that like kind of like, it's weird because it's dry shampoo, but it like moisturizes your scalp. So it feels so good going on. There's no such thing as like a dry shampoo that feels good going on, like another like chemical one. Oh my god, the other thing was, yeah, like living in the bedroom where they made Last of the Mohicans, and staying in the room, in the hotel room, where it's like there's a plaque on the wall that says Daniel Day-Lewis slept here in this room when he played that character in Last of the Mohicans. And to be a Scottish woman growing up, having seen Last of the Mohicans, like I saw Last of the Mohicans at the Grosvenor when I was like an infant or something. I was like a teenager or something. I don't know how old I was, but I remember just being like, this is my favorite film. And that song, The Gale, that literally Dougie MacLean, it's like the kiss and the gale. It became the kiss. The Gale, Dougie MacLean's song, The Gale, became the kiss in the score. And you're going, I don't know who came up with that, but the idea of putting Dougie MacLean in a film was waiting to happen, especially one that's like about like Scottish, Irish, Americans, like the frontier land. I love that feeling of like, oh fuck, everyone's like fucking gunning for it. Like everyone's shitting their pants because anything could happen. On the frontier, like we are bricking it because we don't know where we're gonna have our next meal. And that's what Daniel Day-Lewis's character says. He's like, they weren't strangers. Like when she's like, these are just strangers, we need to bury them. He's like, they weren't strangers. Like he was literally like, these are my best mates. Like you don't even understand what I'm dealing with. And she just found all these dead bodies, and she's like, we should bury them. And he's like, we have to leave no trace of our being here. And she's like, you're indifferent. And he's like, I'm not indifferent, they were my fucking best mates. And the look on her face when she was wrong is so cute. Like she's like, sorry, like I thought they were just, she was like, sorry, they're your best mates, and they're dead. I thought you were just saying that you didn't want to bury these strangers because you could be arsed. And it's like weird to say someone's indifferent when you haven't met them and you don't know them, or you know that you've met, or you just met them. And she's like, you're indifferent. And he's like, I'm not indifferent. He's like, I'm not indifferent. And they're not strangers. And then he just like walks away, and his dad, who's like from the Mohican tribe, is like, burn. And Ugas is like, that's a good one. But then they're sitting down for the burial. Like they're at the burial site, but this is like their sexting moment where you're like, oh, that's where they get together. But it's like their moment where they start to be intimate when they speak about that he went to Reverend Wheelock's school to learn English, and that his dad says that like the white man doesn't have anything to teach him, but like you should go to Mr. Wheelock's school anyway and just like learn their fucking ways, because their ways are mental. And that's how he learned English, because he's a white guy, but he like learned English from this like Native American kids school for them to learn English. And he's like, I didn't know my mom and father because I was about one or two when they died. And it's like, that's so crazy that he was left with the Mohican tribe and like learned their ways, and obviously their ways are fucking superior. Like everyone who went to a Native American tribe who was Western or whatever, like traditional, like normal, whatever, like European in the idea of what normal is, they had a better time. They learned more, and they didn't ever want to go back to like the normal life, because like there's nothing good and sacred about the way that modern life is. Like if you go to a tribe and you live a tribal life, you can relax, you're like part of a community, you never get depressed because you're like in that cycle of life. You know, like the Cheyenne would just be like, yo, we fucking ride buffalo, but we do it on the side of the buffalo so you guys can get fucked. Like the Cheyenne would fucking kill people with a bow and arrow because they were on the side of a buffalo, and other cunts didn't know they were coming. Like other tribes and shit were like, what the fuck are they doing? And it's like, no, they're on the fucking side of the buffalo. And everyone's like, fuck. And they just will kill. They'd like massacre everybody. And then they go. The reason they ate so much buffalo meat is because they had so many buffalo. The Cheyenne were like, that's our animal. And they're like, still relate to that animal. And that's the thing. When you hear about that, it's just so... It makes so much sense to humans. And there's up to humanity and this idea that humans are meant to live in tribes of like 50 or 100 people, and that's really what psychologically we're built for. So if you give us a city, everybody goes, oh, like, I can't fucking handle this because it's too many people. Or people just feel like they're not part of a community, because even if you try to be part of a community and something that's 1 million strong, it's not the same as if you're sitting there, you know what I mean, with like the talking stick and someone's fucking listening to you, and then you listen to your mate, and then they listen to a stranger, and you're like, oh wait, now we're all mates, like we're all sitting in a circle, there's enough of us, or there's not too many of us, so we can actually fucking handle each other psychologically. So that idea of the Native Americans this is the thing I loved about the Native Americans in Last of the Mohicans, is that the way that they're portrayed is so authentic, and everyone that is Native American that I talked to said that that's the only film made by a white man to not do like a white savior thing, not like, it was not a shit film, it was such a good film, it wasn't cheesy, there was nothing about it that was like off. Just a documentary called Real Indian, REEL. Indian is like INGUN, because that's the name that people used for Native Americans, like INJUN, like Injun. That's like a derogatory term for how the press used to write about them or whatever, which is so bad, but also like weird the way that they used to be. It's the same with women. Like women at the very beginning of Hollywood, like before they could talk, before the talkies were around, and before there was sound in films, like women were fucking running the show. There was like so many female directors, half of the writers were women, if not more. Every lady had a good role. Like there was so much space for women. They were behind the camera, you know, they were doing everything, and they were together with men, and then they had also Native Americans or Indian tribes, like native tribes, totally represented, like in different ways. It wasn't just like, here's the very stereotypical version of what that became in like Hollywood films later. It's like, no, the actual Indians were just fucking standing there. So they filmed them being like, this is what the guy's wearing, this is what this lady's wearing, you know, and they showed what they really looked like. And you can look at those silent films with like salivating lips inside, because like there's tribes I talked to who are like, we're salivating watching that shit because it's actually like, whoa, we still have those outfits and shit, you know what I mean? Like, it's so authentic to their tribes. And if it had only stayed that way, like, instead of it becoming like this bad Indian against a good cowboy idea, or just the idea of like, it wasn't just like Indians being bad, but it was like, of course they're bad in the films, they're always like the bad guy, but they're like, there aren't even like representation of what the actual tribe was. So they'd be like, this is a person from whatever tribe, and they'd like say the name of a tribe that wouldn't even be from the region they're filming in, and that would not make sense either. And then they'd be like, and that person's wearing fucking random shit that's from a different tribe, and you're like, oh cool, so literally no one's giving a shit about anything. It's like in Scotland or something, if you put like, if you were like, this is the fucking Mackenzie clan, and you put them in like Irish clothes or something, and people from Ireland are like, why is that the Mackenzie clan in Scotland? Like, that doesn't make sense. And we're like, yes, fuck that shit. But that's the kind of shit people would do if they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I remember also just taking that shit so seriously, because I've talked to tribe members who are like, just don't fucking do that. Like, it's so simple to just do it correctly. Basically what Michael Mann did, which is honor the tribes as they are. If you're fucking shooting someone who's a certain tribe, make sure they're wearing the shit that's from that tribe, and that's what they did. Plus the languages in Last of the Mohicans, when you hear it, to me, just like as a soul, when I watched that film, like as a teenager, like, you know, there's no fucking bullshit that can pass a teenager. So if you see a film as a teenager, if it's a shit film, you're just like, this is a shit film. And if it's a genius film, you're like, this is a genius film. And there's no in between. There's just like genius or crap. And that's it. It's like offensive or brilliant. And that's it. There's no in between. There's no gray area. When you're a teenager, you're just, it's like, it's quite beautiful because it's quite authentic. The way that you react to art like that. You should react like that for the rest of your life. And respect people. Because I remember watching Last of the Mohicans as a teenager and going, this is fucking accurate, epic, and I know this is real. Like, it feels different than all the other ways I've seen Native Americans on the screen before. Like, this is really their language, and you could hear the way that it sounds in this way. It was almost like it was in harmony or something, where you're like, oh no, that is in key, or that's in tune, and the rest is off key, and flat and offensive. And so you're like, oh, all these other films that are made by white people didn't do the fucking trick. And that's what Robert Redford was talking about for his whole life. That's all he wanted to do. That's why he made Sundances, so that Native Americans would have a voice in cinema that was their own voice, not someone else's voice coming in hot, changing their shit and being like, I have a good idea for a Native American film. And it's like, well, why don't you just give them fucking money and they'll make their own fucking film, because they've got their own voices to sing out with and make. Oh my god, there must have been a toilet paper or a tissue in that. You know how like when you wash something and you had a tissue in it? It's like a fucking nightmare. So anyway, all these things are true about life and liberty and justice for all. No. But, so there's a film called Real Indian. It's a documentary. I watched it, and I was friends with a lot of Native people. Bird Running Water. But also there's twins I'm mates with who are just like actually really helpful, because they still live on a reservation, and they will like, I'll tap in and be like, yo, what's the latest thing happening? And it's different than anything that you could ever imagine. Like, I feel like Native people are having a better time than anyone else. Oh, the other thing I saw, I think it was on Joe Rogan. There's a Native woman who was talking about this idea that, I didn't even realize this because I'm like mates with a lot of people. But I didn't know that this fucked up shit was happening. But of course this fucked up shit was happening. Because this is what white people do. It's usually a white man, but sometimes it's a white lady, okay? It's usually a white man. He's usually a bit older. But in museums in America and internationally, now you can say this about England, you can say it about the museum here in Scotland, where when I walk into the museum here, I can smell dead mummies. And I don't know if it's like because when I had a child when I was pregnant, my sense of smell got so fucking acute that I could like smell like a chicken dinner from like 10 miles away. Or someone had made like an Indian food. I was like, that's delicious. Like, and I could smell it from like miles away. Or if there was like a chemical in somebody's like clothes deep inside their outfit, I'd be like, oh, that's like a chemical. Or they put on like perfume 55 years ago and I can smell it still. There's just like my sense of smell was so acute that when I came back to Glasgow to go to the museum, all I could smell was like dead bodies. Like I was like, this smells like a fucking, like in that museum, I was like, this smells like a dead mummy's tomb that's like dusty and fucked up, where like the mummy's been like rotten, you know what I mean? Like it's dunk. It's dunk. I don't know what dunk means, but dunk is my new term for fucked up shit in a museum that shouldn't be there, and you should have given it back to the place it was originally. That should have happened with all the shit that happened in the pyramids. Replace anything that you found that's a tomb near the pyramids, because I know there wasn't any fucking tombs found in the fucking pyramids, but near the pyramids there was tombs. Replace those people back to where they were. And if it's flooded in fucking most of Egypt's flooded anyway, like underneath the pyramids is flooded just now. So if you can't return it, fucking write an apology letter and put a plaque next to it and be like, we're fucking sorry. We should never have taken this. This lady was on Joe Rogan and she was talking about Native Americans stuff. She was like, there's pots, there's clothes, there's money, there's coins, there's jewelry, the shit that like belongs to Native American tribes. Teepees, buildings, bricks. There's all this fucked up shit that cunts just fucking stole from the ground that was buried. Like, she was like, do you know what? If a fucking tribe buries someone, probably what you should not do is go and fucking dig that person up, because they want to be in the ground. Like, she was like, they're our ancestors. Like, they want to be left in the ground the way that we put them in there for our religious belief about where they're going to be when they cross over and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want their God or their religious belief, if it's part of their funeral, to stay with them under the ground, so that wherever they go to the next, like if they go to a 7th planet or, you know, a 7th plane of existence or a 12th realm or whatever, maybe there's like a heaven on earth they go to if they stay in that tomb. But if you fucking pick it out with a little stick and put it in a museum, we're a little bit like, in the belief system of someone who could be fucking really religious, and a tribe that could be really religious, or a person who's buried who could have been really religious, especially if they were like an elder or like a fucking king or a queen or something, or a chief of a tribe, you kind of want to leave them there, as opposed to pick them out with a little stick and then put them in some museum in New York where cunts can like go and look at them and be like, oh, look at that fucking piece of thingy from fuck knows where. And you're like, that is fucking should have been dusty and left in peace. I think there was something about that made me think about not just like the tribal experience in America, where they don't even have like, you know how we've got like passports, nationality, this basic shit, these basic rights. Native people don't have that shit. They don't have a nation that they can say, hey, yo, I'm from here. This is our flag. These are our people. We've been here forever. This is our passport. We can travel around normally. Like, they can't do what normal people can do in America. So the very idea that like everything's fine now is actually like offensive, because they don't have fucking anything. Like, everything about their life was stolen, put in a museum, ripped apart, sold for nothing, sold for a lot, sold for tons. The Smithsonian has so much of this shit. The Smithsonian just has like fucking dead people's skulls from Native American tribes like in a box in their like basement, and you're like, are you guys ever going to do anything with that shit? And they're like, no, we're not going to do anything with it. Like, are you going to display it like you display half the other broken shit? And they're like, no, we don't even want to display it. And it's like, so you're just literally going to keep it in a box in the Smithsonian, when that's like somebody's, in a tribe in America, like that's somebody's like granny. Like, you've got her fucking head in a box in your basement. Like, is that weird to you? Like, that museum concept that, like, oh, because it's in a museum, like, we should be so grateful that, like, we have the honor of, like, being in a museum. And, like, the tribe were sitting there, like, give it fucking back. You stole it. These cunts stole it. And anyone who got it, like, they call it, like, the way that it was found, or, like, there's, like, a history to every object. A provenance. So because they use that word, like, they think Native Americans are going to be like, wow, you're going to use that word on us, so therefore you own it more than we do. It's like, no, that came from our tribal land. Don't steal it with your little pickaxe, and don't take it to your museum, and don't put it in a box in the basement, or don't display it. They don't know what's worse. Like, Native Americans are like, is it worse that these people are displaying our dead relatives and their little pottery and shit, or, like, their outfits and stuff? Is it worse that they're displaying it, or is it worse that they own it? They think they own it, because that's crazy, because they stole it, and they're pretending they own it even though they stole it. And they're just like, the people at the Smithsonian don't know what they're doing, so they can't even say we stole it. They're just like, we own it. And you're like, mate, you don't own it, you stole it. Like, it's so bad. So this lady was so meaningful to me, and she made me cry, because I never thought about it that way before. When she was like, our ancestors and, like, dead people who are in our tribe, they want to be left in the ground. They don't want to be ripped up. It's like if I went into, like, a graveyard here and just was like, hi, yo, I stole your granny, and now I have her, like, in a display case in the middle of the center of town in Glasgow. Look, and I put her shoes, like, on underneath her. So look, you can stand her up, and it looks like she's standing there, but it's just her corpse. Yeah, it's like her corpse. Look, it's her skull. Isn't that gorgeous? And, like, this idea that museums have gotten away with so much crap. I know that, like, the British Museum stole so much shit from Greece, and they've never given it back, and they still say, well, that Greece doesn't deserve their shit back, because they're saying such offensive stuff, like Greeks aren't like professional enough to handle it being returned to them or something, or, like, someone said, like, the Greek economy is not booming or something, so they don't deserve it back, or they don't know how to look after it. And it's like, cunt, you actually stole it, so why don't you say you're the thief and return it, as opposed to belittling a whole nation to try and get something that you shouldn't have had in the first place. Like, give it back. My thing is, give all this shit back. Like, this is a time, it's Year of the Horse. Let's spend 2026 returning everything that's Native American, that's been stolen and ripped apart from them. Just give it back to them. Give it back to the tribe. They will do with it as they please. Like, maybe they will bury their people again that you picked out of the ground with your little, like, plastic bag and took to New York. Or, I don't know, like, give back the Greek things to Greece. They deserve to be there. Like, they've got big chunks of, like, big walls from, like, the Parthenon or something. It's literally the Parthenon. And, like, Greek people were like, why did English cunts come in and steal half of our history? Like, the actual part of that part of Greece, it's like, yo, why did you guys steal it? And the English people are like, yo, we just wanted to put it in the British Museum because we thought it deserved to be there, because we know it's, like, we're superior to everyone, so it should be in there. And everyone in Greece is like, what the fuck? Like, that just sounds like what a thief who would, like, steal some shit from you in the night would say. Like, yeah, don't worry, like, I'll just look after it for you, because I'm better than you. But it's like, you're not, guys. Like, nobody's better than the people who it was originally meant for. Like, these people's actual grandparents and shit had to deal with these thieves stealing their lives, their identity, their dead bodies, their granny's body, like, their great-grandfather's body, like, the jewelry, everything, the culture. Like, it's just like, put it back in the ground. Stop thinking that you are an intellectual, so therefore you can be an absolute authentic, like, nightmare thief. Think about what it would be like for you if someone stole your granny out of her grave and literally put her in a museum in a big glass case with her shoes that she used to wear. Or somebody else's shoes on her, being like, oh, look, this is someone from her area, but we'll put the shoes on her because we think they're her shoes. And you're like, what is that? It's like a perverted, this is what I thought about. It's like a perverted idea of their idea of like, we're advanced. You know, like it's like science being advanced and like archaeologists saying we're archaeologists. And it's like, no, guys, like just fucking calm down a wee minute and like recognize that this is people's lives. This belongs to a tribe. This belongs to a group of people. This belongs to a country, you know. And it's the history of who we are as people. So there's something really sketchy about stealing it and pretending that you didn't. And if that's your job, you need to like change your job, like get a fucking different job. There's better jobs out there. Like there's a million other things. So start the restoration campaign and like put it all back, because I know that I've seen in museums like Native American stuff that I'm like, why is this fucking here? It's so nice. It's so fancy. And I'm like, why is this like fancy shit that's here? Like there's no head of any tribe in any part of America who was like, yes, I agree to you taking all my fucking tribe's shit and putting it in a museum. Yes, no one would ever agree to that, ever. So like, that's why they had to steal it. So I'm like, put it back. And then, like, if you don't know what to do with something, where you're like, oh, I don't even know where this is from. Maybe it's Egyptian or whatever. Just take it to that land, and those people, take it to the country you know it's from, and those people will fucking know what to do with it. They'll know what to do with it better than you do. There's so much bullshit around that, and I never even realized or thought about it. Oh, it's another way that Native Americans get picked. They just get like picked apart, like pick. And then it's like suddenly they're like, wait, what the fuck? Like I don't have anything that I was before. And each tribe you can say, oh, they took this, they stole this, they took this, they took that. They shot our heroes, they killed our legends, they fucking took everyone and gave them blankets that had a disease and killed them all. And you're like, mate, we think that there was a larger number of people who were Native American who died. Much larger numbers. And yeah, like they were not pacifists. They weren't all just like pacifists standing there being like, take my shit. And so I'm sure it was like gory, and I know it was very gory. And that's not nice to think about either, but at least there's films that you can look at to say, hey, this is a Native American director, Native American writer. And you can go to Sundance and be like, what's the Native program? That's cool. Let's give money to the Native program over and over again. Like, I will put that on my gravestone. If you're wondering what to do, go help a fucking group of people making a film about Native Americans. Like, go be their fucking water person and give them all water. When we were doing Glow, this will make me cry. I don't know why this fucking made me cry when I was doing Glow, but we were like so privileged to be doing this show that was about female women of all kinds, like different bodies, different heights, different strengths. Everyone had different things going on, and we all showed up to be together to do Glow. And it was so empowering to be part of Glow. And Ted Sarandos knew what he was doing when he got us fucking to do it, but also we knew that Genji Cohen was going to make the greatest TV show, and Liz and Carly were going to make the greatest TV show. Chavo quiero! Viva la raza! But also the idea of like the way that wrestling is empowering, and it makes you just not give a fucking shit, because you're like you're literally, for Glow, we were risking our life every second. We could have died on that show, so because we were doing our own stunts, it makes you really clear about what you will die for. And I was like, I'll die for these girls, I'll save their lives. My thing is, I will be very protective of a group of people. I'm not aggressive, but if someone is like gonna attack somebody else, I will be aggressive to defend a friend. That's how I'm built. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of gene inside me that is defensive rather than aggressive. So I was very happy to like protect everyone and like be the bouncer on Glow and like help everyone survive and like thrive. But also I remember when we were shooting it, Betty Gilpin was like telling me that her husband was working on giving people toilets. Like, his name's Cosmo, so let's like make him cry. This was when it was this moment where we were all crying on Glow, because we were like not able to go protest at Standing Rock because we had to shoot Glow. So we were like, all right, let's shoot Glow instead. But we're like here for Standing Rock, and all I could think about was Standing Rock and the people on the front line. And Betty Gilpin comes up to me and she's like, yo, my husband is actually at Standing Rock because he builds toilets for people, like organic toilets instead of portaloos for people who are demonstrating or protesting anything. And I was like, he's at Standing Rock right now. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, and I just had like a cry with her because it was so beautiful that he was doing that. And they had just gotten married or whatever. They were just about to get married. Maybe she was like my fiance. It's like, I can't remember what year it was, but either they were like already married and it was all in the can already, like their marriage, or it was about to be, because they were definitely like about to get married. But when she told me that Cosmo was doing that and that was his job, and we were reading what was happening at the Standing Rock every second, it was making me cry. And then like I wished I was there because we had to shoot Glow like the whole fucking time. And then one day I was like in my trailer and I like woke up, or I woke up at home when I was like 10 minutes from set, because my house was 10 minutes away from the Glow set in LA, in Silver Lake, because we shot in Los Feliz. I was like, yo, no, we didn't shoot in Los Feliz. We shot in Glendale. Fucking wish we shot in Los Feliz. Jesus fucking Christ. Can you imagine if we shot Glow in Los Feliz? We shot Glow and like, oh, hello. Yeah, we're just shooting Glow here. Sorry, I know that we're here. I know that we're in Los Feliz, but we're shooting Glow. Sorry, we're like, we're at like all these places. Like, there's a crystal shop in Los Feliz that's so nice. There's Alcove Cafe. Like, imagine we were in Alcove Cafe shooting Glow. They'd be like, yes, come on in. There's a bistro, the French bistro too. That's like where I met for the first time. I had my first meeting with Andre Lascaris ever in my life, was there in Los Feliz. And I was like talking about my mom's Nikon, and he was talking about being from Greece, and I was like, I think I'm gonna hire this fucking cunt to be my fucking DP for Good Dick. There's so many things that happened in that bistro. Like, I had so many nights in that French bistro, like, and there's Bourgeois Pig. That's more like, you know, not even in Los Feliz, but Bourgeois Pig is where we shot my last ever scene of Good Dick. We shot this one frame of my character, like, one scene of my character, like, working when she works in a coffee shop. And we got to Bourgeois Pig at like 6 a.m. or something, shot our last scene, and then that was it, because we were shot in a diner as well. That whole night was like the last day. And then I remember like putting gas in my car, like at that petrol station that's like across the road from Bourgeois Pig, just being like, I can't believe we shot the whole film and I got it all. Like, I got it all. And the next day, the day after I shot Good Dick, I had so much energy. Of course you have energy. And I like just continued the adrenaline, and then had a day where I just like watched documentaries about the female football players in America. And I was like, if they could do that, like if the 99ers could do that, I can fucking finish this film, you know, like in post-production, like transition between shooting and post, like that's easy. So I made myself clear about all these different things, and I also just wanted to say like 5 other things about it, because ouch, I like sometimes pull off hangnails. Do you ever do that where you're just like, ow? And then I have to put like medicine on it, because I literally just ripped my fucking finger off. Not fully, but just now I have to put wind balm. But the thing about Standing Rock that made me cry, Betty Gilpin, to go back, and I can't even remember, it must have been 2016 it was 2008, 17, 18 or something like that, because 19 was also Glow, so, 2020 was also Glow and 21 was also Glow. I think it was 2018. Yeah, I think it was 2018. And Betty Gilpin was like, yo, so my husband slash fiance is like on the ground with the people at Standing Rock, like giving them a bathroom that's like beautiful, organic, like it's called like a compostable bathroom or something, like it's compost, the way that they deal with it. So he deals with the pee and the poo organically, so that they have not only dignity but like a way to use the bathroom when you're protesting and demonstrating. And it's also like, you don't want to show up with a bunch of portaloos for a tribe of Native Americans. Like, you want to be like Cosmo being like, I've got a better idea for you guys than the fucking portaloos, you know? And it's just so up the alley of like giving respect to people or coming up with an idea. It just made me cry, because I was like, I would never have thought of that. Even if I had like 15 billion pounds or something, or $15 billion to just give the Standing Rock tribe who were protesting, being like, I'll fucking buy out the government so you don't have to deal with this bullshit. This goddamn pipeline in your face. Like, I just would have loved to have helped in a way that I hadn't thought of before. And, you know, Betty's husband or her fiance was just doing something that I had not thought of before. I was like, what an original thinker. And then I was crying because I woke up one of those days when Standing Rock was still happening. And I remember like looking at the news or looking on my phone, and a lady, like a Native American lady, had given birth at the Standing Rock, like, protest line. She gave birth like in a tent or on the ground. I don't know where she was. And this before I had kids. I had a niece already, and I was like, mate, like, I was gonna ruin my makeup. I'm ruining my makeup right now by crying about that. I have to get a tissue and fucking dab. I need to dab the tears away internally inside my eyeball, so I don't have to cry. If I cry this all off, that'd be fucked. Then I have to do another 5 hours of makeup. Let's talk about Standing Rock drama. I got the tears before they formed, but they actually formed in my eyeball. I could feel them. Okay, but I'm going to cry again because she called the baby Water for Life. Or Water is Life. She called the baby Water is Life. And I was like, water is life. And that gave me just fucking energy. Like, just that one woman giving birth to one baby, that on the line where they were protesting. I don't know why it like moved me to tears and changed my life. Do you know how like news sometimes like just changes your life? Like, I was like, I'm never gonna fucking complain about anything ever again. I'm gonna fucking suck it up about so many different things. But I am gonna like sing the praises of people like that, because that is so deep. Woman to woman, like, that is fucking deep. And calling the baby Water for Life, like they said, I read the name like in their language. I read it first, like it was like Oni something, and I can't remember it in their language, but I remember reading that first. And then down at the bottom of the article, it was like what they named the baby means. The translation in English is water for life. Water is life. And I was like, because it's not just a protest. Like, it's something beyond that. Like, this woman, like, not only was pregnant and brought a baby from another part of the cosmos to this realm and brought it through her body. Like, women don't just make babies and make life with their bodies and give life. Women have the idea to name the baby Water is Life, because water is life. And the point of Standing Rock is to say, do you know what? Like, you can't buy us. You can't buy this land. You can't buy the water. It's not for sale. Like, that water is not for sale the way my baby's not for sale or her baby's not for sale. Like, you can't buy them. and you cannot take their light away. Like, you cannot take the grace away from nature by ruining it. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot put a pipe in the ground that will destroy our land, because you cannot destroy the land, because there is, like, water is life means, like, life is, Mother Earth is too much for you. Like, you cannot ruin her, you know? Like, you cannot take something that you don't understand. You cannot put gold into, like, you can't stuff gold into this mountain. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. Like, the thing that is true is water is life. And I still remember her face, and I still remember this little blanket that the baby was wrapped in. And it was one of those, like, tiny wee baby blankets, like, you would get from, like, no joke, like, Ralph's or Target, not Ralph's, but, like, Target or Ross, do you know what I mean? Or, like, you'd get it in a Walgreens maybe, like, just a wee baby blanket that's so soft. But it wasn't one they give you in the hospital. Do you know what I mean? It was, like, one of those, like, yo, this baby's going to be soft and cozy. And there's something about it too that, like, there was a dad who, like, was the dad. Like, it was just so cool. And I was like, I can't cope with the power of that. Like, it wasn't a protest. It was like, she gave birth where they're protesting. So it's not, like, it's beyond protest at this point. Like, you can't take that away from them. Like, they are that land. That baby's that land. That baby is war, is life. Like, you can't mess with it. There's something about it where it's beyond words. It's like a ritual, or like a historical part of your family that you're like, oh, that's what we do in our family. Like, we respect people. Like, somebody once in a bar was like, yeah, you know, my mom, like, we're from family. Like, my mom's, like, really clever. She was like, she raised me as she's a feminist, so I'm a feminist. Like, we just believe that women can be intelligent. Like, we believe in women's intelligence. And I was like, oh my God, like, I don't have a crush on you at all, but, like, I have a crush on that concept. Like, what a cool thing to say. We just believe that women are intelligent, or we think women are funny and intelligent, funny and smart or something. And we know women, or he said, like, I know women can be funny, and I know women are funny and smart. I know women are funny and smart. And I remember being like, yeah, I like that, you know, because it's not, like, that's true. So it's not, like, questioning, is a lady clever? Like, is a lady clever? Is a lady clever enough to make a joke? Is a lady clever enough to get a joke? It's like, oh my God, no, we're past all that, because dudes now are just like, whatever, dude, like, we're already on the next level of the video game. Like, we're on level 27 of the video game and no longer level 12, you know? Like, I can't believe how long my hair is. Okay, but also, I had to talk about water is life, because that baby's out there now, and I'm sure the baby's like 10 or something now. And if you wanted to think about any idea about adoption, or if you want to have a baby organically, I just believe that babies are really good to have. They make you better people, and they're, like, destined to be here as well. So there's something about that where you feel like, oh my God, it's not just this, but it's destiny. What a full circle moment we had. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.